Morning troops, hope the day finds you well. Here we are this morning out in the river with them, and the plan of attack is trying to nick some tench and some big bream first thing before it gets too bright. Perfect conditions, there's virtually no wind, water's dead calm, ideal for float fishing, brilliant for the indication, plenty of duckweed around, but I'm not going to moan about it. I knew it was here before I arrived. When I got here, I definitely knew it was here. So yeah, it's no point whining and moaning on about it all the time. We're fishing, put some ground bait in, fishing over the top of it. I'm hoping to nick some tench, I'm saying some big bream before it gets too bright. Not sure about the rest of the day. I might stay, change tactics, go a bit finer, a little bit of finesse and try and fish for some roach and stuff. I've got hemp, tears, corn, worms. So this morning is going to be a corn and worm cocktail approach for the tench and the bream, and I'll see if I can pique their interest, if I can get them going. If I can't, it won't make much of a video, will it? No, if I can't by 10-11 o'clock and it's bright and sunny, then I shall switch round and try and catch some roach and rudd. But at the moment it looks lovely. It's dead calm. Mornings and the evenings are drawing in now, so you don't get as much time on the bank. I didn't get light till 5:30, so it'll be dark by 8:30, but I won't be staying that long. Got one day off. As with most foods, you get one day off a week, or maybe two if you're lucky. You've got to pick your times and your battles when it's fishing and family. A fine line, you know what I mean? So gonna fish most of the day. I say if I have a good morning, I might pack up, and if I have a good morning, I might stay and see if I can have a good afternoon as well. It won't be into darkness. It's just a day session. Hopefully this morning on the waggler, lift method. Hope to catch some tench. That's what I'm aiming for this morning. Big bream are always a bonus. I say if it brightens up and gets scorching and red hot, then I shall fish for roach and rudd later on. But we're fishing. Let's go and catch some fish. Let me show you this swim. Well, it's a swim I cleaned out. Well, it's a swim I cleared out the other day and had to abandon. So I'm hoping it's going to produce for me. I'll say it's already been raked there, all the work's already been done, so it's a case of just clearing a bit of duckweed out of the front of the swim. Hook and the bait's coming back nice and clean. Depth wise, it's not too deep out there. 6 foot where my float is. There's the float. It's only 6 foot there. So that's basically bang in the centre of the duckweed, that little clump of reeds. I'm bang in the centre of there. 6 foot deep. I'm laying on the bottom. Worm and corn cocktail, and I'm going to stick at it till about 10-11, maybe even longer. Depends on the conditions up there. Looks beautiful morning, isn't it? And we'll see if we can get the tench interested. There's the river this morning in all its glory. Let's catch some fish. I've been fishing a couple of hours now and no joy so far. I've had a few bites, typical Murphy's Law. I've had 2 really good bites on the float, and both times I had a cup of coffee in one hand and something to eat in the other. The old float. So, stitched me up twice, 2-0 to the fish. It hasn't got bright, it's really lovely and overcast, quite muggy, quite mild. I've seen a big tench. I'm in a big tench rolling my swim over my baited area. So I'm going to stick with the big fish tactics on the float rod. I'm going to stick out a second rod, small inline cage feeder, and I'm going to fish with hemp and tears and see if I can nab some roach sport on the right hand. So I'm going to stick a right hand rod out there, a small inline cage feeder. What I'll do is I'll fish, just plug it with a little bit of ground bait, top it all up with crushed hemp, plug it off again, and tears on the hook, size 16 barbless hook, and we'll see if we can nab some roach out maybe, or some rudd, or even get the skimmers going, anything, you know what I mean, keep this session ticking over, because at the moment I'm not getting loads of bites on the worm and corn cocktail. But it's definitely, I say, I've seen a big tench roll, so there's definitely fish out there over the baited area. Might have baited in a bit too close though. It's quite shallow out there. It's only 5-6 foot deep. I'd say about 5.5 foot. So it's not deep. You know what I mean? Normally when I'm fishing along here on this river, I'm fishing in 10 foot of water, but water's down a few feet, and this is a bit of a shallow bay, so the water's a lot shallower. So I've just got to hope they've got plenty of cover there and they get confident and start feeding properly and heavily. What difference 10 minutes makes. It was all positive, weren't I? Now look at it. There was a bit of a breeze, only 5-10 minutes, bit of a ripple on the water, and it's moved the duckweed all around, and it's impossible now for me to float fish this swim for a while. So I'm going to set up a second leisure rod, just a drill bullet over where I was fishing before, because I can't present a float or the bait in this duckweed. So it's time for a rethink, change of tactics. It was all positive. I say, I was getting bites, tench were rolling, it was overcast. Now it's sunny, there's duckweed everywhere. I can't present a bait where I want or how I want. I can present it where I want, but not how I want, so gotta set up another rod. It looks like we'll be leisuring for a while. There's only one thing boils my piss more than litter left on the bank, and that's discarded tackle. And this is a real doozy, a real killer rig. God knows what they were doing or thinking. Let's have a look at this monstrosity. Well, I don't really know what to make of that one. The barb on that obviously had feathers attached to it at one point, whipped. Remember, I'm showing my age now. We used to call it catgut, didn't we, donkeys years ago, mono. You're not going to get much thicker than that, or powerful than that. God knows what sort of rig that is. or what type of fishing they were doing. I can guarantee you one thing. It wasn't made or designed to return the fish safely. I think that's a member of the old supper club. Fish dispatched and put in the freezer, I reckon. Discarded line, eh? Unbelievable. Discarded hook and tackle. Yeah, so it's the old poaching brigade at it. You know what I mean? God knows what breaking strain that is. It's that's just left there. You know what I mean? Left behind, discarded. Been there a while, I think. Don't think it's from this season, but it just goes to show you cut away the undergrowth to make a swim, and there's still detritus there. Well, you can't. Some of them you can't help. You can't educate some of them. And that rig there was designed to get a fish in on the bank as quick as possible, without never it coming off, so it could be dispatched and taken away. And that's what we've got to put up with, folks. You know what I mean? It's not just animal predation, it's human predation as well. And it's rife up here. I haven't blanked. They love a worm, don't they? Let's get the little devil back. Worm and corn cocktail. Whew. Well, another tale of woe, troops. Basically, I've been sitting here sunbathing since 11 o'clock. It's now 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've had half a dozen small perch. I showed you one of them, but you know, I've had half a dozen, probably about the same amount in small rudd on the right hand rod on the corn, but nothing to speak of, nothing major, nothing to get excited about, nothing to film. Sitting there struggling, contemplating jumping in. It was just one of those things. It was ideal this morning, perfect, you know. It stayed like that all day. It just started to look really good. I said it was Tench rolling, it was overcast, it was beautiful. All of a sudden, like a light switch, 11 o'clock, sun's out, wind changes direction, duckweed everywhere. So that should change my whole approach. At 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I tried to fish for bits on the drop, but the wind's in my face. I couldn't even get out to beyond the duckweed, and it was virtually impossible. So stuck leisuring. I've had small stuff, but nothing to get excited about. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Do I pack up or do I sit it out for the evening? I think I'll sit it out for the evening. I've been only going to sit at home and in front of the telly or something, so we've got BDI on. There's not much action down there though, so it's been a tough day. Swim's starting to clear out now. The duckweed's moved around a bit and it's clear-ish. There's a bit of cloud moving over. Who knows? We might have an exciting end to the session. Let's hope so. Time to call it a day, I think. I've flogged it for 12 hours. Once that morning golden period was over, it was always going to be a struggle. And sadly, another video where the old elements, the conditions, and the venue have beaten us, but it's been a good day, really. I mean, I've enjoyed myself, been on the river, I've caught some small stuff. Plenty of activity around, harvest time, there's plenty of farm machinery up and down the bank behind me. You can hear all the noise. You know, there's a few tench out there rolling this morning, but couldn't entice them to feed. And we missed our opportunity. It's the way it goes sometimes. I'm going to have a slow pack up. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate all the views and all the comments and all the likes. It really does help the channel grow. Thanks very much, everyone. I'll see you on the bank real soon. That sums up the day, really, doesn't it? I was having a slow pack up, packed all my bait up and had my pocket picked right to death. Worm and corn cocktail, lifted up, struck nothing, nicked the worm and the corn. Oh, sums the day up. Thanks for watching, troops, really do appreciate all the views. See you on the bank real soon.